Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the gender differences in crime and how there is such a big gap between the two sexes. So there has always been a pretty big gap in relation to male and female crime. It is something that much of society recognizes and sees day to day in our everyday news. In our textbook on page 69, the text states that the number of crimes committed by men routinely far exceeds the number of crimes committed by women in almost all of the crime categories. When women do commit major crimes, it is seen that they are more likely following someone or following a group rather than being the actual ringleader of the crime. Globally, a study of 53 different countries shows that men are 95% of the crime rates, leaving only 5% as women committing those crimes. In America, it's 96% of males that are committing the crimes, leaving only 4% of women committing crimes. That is a huge gap between male and female crime. If there are any headlines for crimes, the headlines usually seem to consist of only males, and it's very rare to see women on a headline for violent crimes. Women committing violent crimes are just rarer, and when they do happen, it's more of a shock than hearing that a man has committed a crime. However, there are some crimes that women seem to commit more than men, such as prostitution and shoplifting. Prostitution is illegal, yet many women commit these crimes daily to get by through their day-to-day lives. Shoplifting done by females most likely consists of clothes and makeup that are overpriced anyway, and are more likely to just easily slip something into a large purse, and the reasoning behind it usually many things are too expensive but are needed. But these crimes aren't hurting anyone and usually don't involve many other people. It's usually a solo act for themselves or for their own children. Even though women make up 51% of the United States population, they are only arrested for about 20% of all violent crimes and 37% of property crimes. These numbers have stayed about the same, even with the cultural changes and increases in equality between males and females, creating more possibilities and opportunities for women to commit crimes, or so they thought. But recent studies do show that the rates for women committing crimes has actually steadily been on the incline, and that the gap is slowly narrowing. What has been the cause of that? Well, researchers in a book called The Nature of Crime, Community and Change state that it is most likely because of the increase of equality between the two sexes. And with that increase of equality comes the increase of committing crimes as well. Women aren't exempt from crimes, after all. Continuing on why women seem to commit less crimes than men, some contemporary writers claim that the roles of a woman that include raising a child and giving birth to children is a big reason why women are less prone to committing crimes. It is in our evolutionary forces, in our genes, in our instincts to make sure that we find the safest place. Women are more sensitive to the environment than men and tend to be quicker to respond to dangerous situations. Not only that, but women are also just tend to avoid any threatening situations that are due to crimes. Obviously, committing crimes would definitely send a lot of red flags. It is not the safest thing to do, and it usually doesn't bring about the right crowd. So this reminds me of how a mother in the wild would react to predators trying to hunt their offspring, such as how a bird would try to pick the safest place for a nest, or how a mama hippo would do anything to protect her baby. Furthermore, the crimes that are committed by males usually seem to be graver crimes, such as murder and burglary. Kevin Beaver makes the point that males are much more prone to violence and aggression in serious crimes compared to their female counterparts. In addition, the more serious the crime, the more the gender gap actually increases. So there's actually a name for this gap called the gender ratio problem. For example, homicides committed in America by men versus women has remained constant for decades, with about 96% of all murders committed by men.